What's up, guys? Welcome in to another episode of the Out of Our Minds podcast. Let me just clear my throat chakra. Let me just get into the zone here because today's episode is a fiery one. It's one that's going to be meant for you. If you're listening to this and the words are resonating, you're going to freaking feel it. And what I invite you to do is to just open your heart and your mind, have an open body to this experience, to the message that is about to be received by you. Because let me tell you something that I'm going to do right now. And it is to embrace a gift that I have. And I'll get into all of this magic. But as a little preface, part of the reason why I feel so fired up and so confident in this message I'm about to share is that I also know myself. And I know my gifts. I know my own genius zone. Part of the reason why I know that is because of the story I'm about to tell you, but also because of my human design. And I have this gift that is the gate of shock. It is an ability to shake people up and to sometimes, through a little bit of shock and awe, to, tell people what they need to hear. And sometimes it comes off as like bold, or literally the best word to explain it is shock. And I embrace that because I know that sometimes it is the exact medicine that you need. And I want you to really feel where I'm coming from. And so I say all that so that you know what you're getting into. If you've been listening to this podcast, you know what I'm about. You know that you're going to get the real raw truth from me. I'm not going to hold it back and I'm going to give it to you straight. So without further ado, let's dive into the topic of today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for clicking on a thumbnail that is clearly indicating to me that you're ready to do the thing. You're ready to claim. You're ready to claim it. This episode is about the art of claiming your next level and how to make it happen in the now. Now, the collective energy right now, if you're listening to this as soon as it comes out on October 2nd, happy October, happy fall in the Northern Hemisphere. But also, this is an energy that is very present in the new paradigm. The new paradigm, the new earth, basically just means the collective era, if you will, that we are moving into on earth. And the last episode we did was an energy reading, and especially if the words I'm saying are resonating with you, I highly recommend listening to that episode because it gives like a broader strokes reading on what's happening, not just in October, but in this fall moving forward, the end of 2024, and also in this era that we're in, this collective rising consciousness. So this is really honing in on this piece about claiming. And this message has been coming through so strongly for me because there is something truly profound that happens when we claim our next level self, when we make this split second decision instantaneously in the now moment that it's time, that enough is enough, that, you know what, I am this person. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm meant to do. And I'll get into more explanation of what that means to claim. But what I want you to know is that it's time for you to decide that you're ready. It's time for you to decide that it's time, right? You need to decide that it's just time and there is no more ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're here, you're on this earth, you have a mission, you have a purpose, you have a vision, even if it's not crystal clear, even if it is, whatever it is, you know that you're meant to do something. And we are entering into this era where you need to essentially lovingly cut the crap and take it seriously. And I'm going to share with you basically a story about the many times in my life this has happened, but one in particular moment where I claimed a very particular identity and I went all in. And then what happened after was truly magical. And I want to tell you because I want to remind you that that is possible for you and that we truly can experience these quantum shifts, right? When we say a quantum shift, it's alluding to, yes, this idea of like a quantum timeline shift or quantum jumping, where all of a sudden your reality just like changes what seems like overnight or at the snap of a finger. But the term quantum is also alluding to basically on like a very, very small granular cellular level, and meaning that all of a sudden like your whole being is reflecting that. If you think about this idea of as within, so without, as above, so below, it's like what you decide in your internal reality in that landscape is what is going to manifest and show in your outside world. So let's take it back to the beginning. Actually, this was more like at the end of 2022. I started to realize that I was putting myself unintentionally in a waiting room. Earlier that year in 2022, I had quit my corporate job. I took the big leap. It was freaking terrifying. I truly had no idea what I was doing other than the fact that I just knew something in me pointed me towards leaving my job. And again, a job that was like just good enough, but not quite it, right? I think you guys know that feeling when you're in something that's like pretty damn good, but just like something is missing, whether that's a job, a relationship, a friendship, the town you're in, whatever it might be. And so I sent it. I left, and it was terrifying. And that summer, I definitely hit a very, very low point of a dark night of the soul, of just feeling lost and very much looking outside of me for the answers, for the proof. And it's so crazy to look back. And this is where I know I was so divinely guided, because I left my stable job and I was going to full-time pursue basically content creation. At the time was like the number one like vision of what I was going to do. And I had just over 1,000 followers. Like from the outside looking in, again, this is why this is important, and it kind of proves the point. From the outside looking in, I had no business being like, yeah, I'm going to just send it and like see if it works out, even though I'm not anywhere near fully monetized. I'm not anywhere near having an established audience or an expertise or like a niche developed, like none of that. Okay. What I did have was a part-time writing freelance job that kept me afloat. And I'm talking like just the basics. Like I just was able to pay my bills and live off of savings, and that was it. So point being, I went in and I trusted that divine pull to quit and to make the jump. And of course, and not of course, but this is what happened. I'm saying of course because I'm looking back on it and seeing the story come together. But in the moment, in that summer of 2022, I really was in the darkness. I was having all the doubts. I was lost. I just really had no idea what the frick I was going to be doing and how it was going to work out. Because of that, I started to feel like I was in that waiting room, that feeling where I knew what I wanted to do, but it just felt far away. It felt like very much out there, and that I just didn't have it, or I was missing something. Like whatever flavor of that voice was or that feeling, that's what I was in. And so I didn't mean to, right? But it's sort of like I started to develop that pattern of that idea, like, okay, well, once my account grows a bit, I'll be able to blank more easily. Or once I save a little bit more and yada, 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 I'll be able to have more success, right? Just any version of putting an outside metric, a dangling carrot between me and actually embracing what I'm doing. And to be fair, in some of these moments, like there can be a truth to, just the need for like certain 3D elements to be in place. And I'm not saying that like it's always bad to have some sort of if then statement, because sometimes it's real. The difference is, and this is where your intuitive abilities and your sense of self and your self-discovery are so key, because you're going to know when you are putting yourself in an energetic waiting room that's completely unnecessary. So it ends up being winter of the end of that year, 2022. I'm home for Christmas. And in that December of 2022, I remember starting to feel like, you know what, we need to make a bigger shift. We need to do something that is going to signal to myself and the universe that like I'm doing this. And I remember so serendipitously seeing that my OG mentor, Jennifer Edition, who we've talked about a bunch, she has a workshop in our Oasis. She's an incredible person. Definitely check her out. Jennifer Edition, that is. The last name is Adishian. I know sometimes we say it fast and it's hard to understand. So anyways, I saw that she was opening up a slot for one-on-one coaching with her. And mind you, I'm in a place in time where I'm not making a full-time income. I'm living off of my savings, okay? By all means, it did not make logical sense. But something in me knew when I saw that email come in that is what I needed to do. At the same time, I was having this revelation that I had put myself in a waiting room, and I was not fully claiming the identity of my vision, the identity being a content creator. That was what was the most clear identity to me at the time. It was like being a creator, being a public figure, being a creative. That was what I wanted to be, but I wasn't fully embodying it. So I have this moment, I see the email come in, and I'm like, okay, we're doing it. I paid it in full. That was also crazy scary. Instead of doing a payment plan, to be like, you know what, we're just doing it all in. And I remember saying to her, I was like, I am claiming that I'm a creator now. And then fast forward, we have our first session after the holidays in January of 2023. And I can remember it so vividly, sitting on that session and talking to Jenny and being like, something has changed within me. Like, I've fully decided that I'm just doing this. This is who I am. And I was at my parents' home at the time, and I remember vividly being flooded with all of these ideas for videos and for making reels and TikToks, and I just freaking embraced it. And I picked up my phone every day and I put on outfits and just dressed myself in whatever way made me feel good to show up on camera, and I started making reels, sharing about wisdom and personal growth and any and all things that I felt passionate about. I relied on my human design authority to guide me to which videos to make if it felt exciting, right? If it felt like a topic that I had knowledge on because of my 1-4 profile of being an investigator and a people person. I wanted to just trust what I knew and trust what expanded me. And that's what I followed. That was literally my quote unquote content strategy, was this excites me and this aligns with how I learn and how I express. Again, those were informed by my human design, which was a huge piece of it. And yeah, it was this claiming moment of an instantaneous shift in my consciousness where all of a sudden it's like realizing when you've been complaining for 20 minutes and you're like, okay, whoa. I'm good. I'm done. I don't need this. You literally like shake it off and you're just like, okay, I'm good. I'm done. And that's exactly what it is. That's why it's as easy as claiming it and committing to a new identity, a new reality. And when you do that, that's why it affects the quantum field. So what was freaking magical is over the next few months, my account finally started growing after being stagnant for years, right? I started having videos go up in the thousands of views. Like I was like 4 videos in a row had like 10 or 15,000 views on my reels. It was incredible. And then in February, so this is literally like a month in, I have my first true viral moment. And I remember, again, the video was the perfect example of why claiming who I really was as a creative and as a creator being and leaning into what I knew was my true self because of my own self-discovery and my human design. I made this video where I felt so excited by something I read in a Joe Dispenza book. And I read it to like the camera and then I comment on it. And it was like the perfect like moment of being this teacher and being like, oh my gosh, this is going to blow your mind. Maybe if I can remember and find the video, I'll link it for you guys in the description. But yeah, I post this video and it starts popping off. And what's crazy to me is like this video started to get really quickly like 100,000 views. It ended up capping out at like 170 or 180,000, which in terms of virality, some people go to like 1 million, 4 million. The crazy thing about this, guys, was I was in such a magnetic state because of what I was claiming that the conversion rate of followers from that video was like out of this world. Like I remember some of my content creator friends and coaches that were more established were like, dude, the fact that your account is growing this much from this one video is insane. So it's all to say that like I truly claimed and magnetized a new reality to me simply by deciding that this was who I am. I was like, you know what? I'm a content creator. This is what I do. And it felt so good because it was a truthful expression of what I was really meant to do, right? Of being a creative, of having this like, you know, online personality, if you will, and leaning into the fact that I had this wisdom to share and I could learn and read and express it out. And it was just like this flow state that came from claiming an identity that I knew was meant for me. And it was just a beautiful moment of what happens when you have a reclamation, when you claim and commit to who and what you're ready for. And you know when you're ready for that because you have that moment of realizing that you put yourself in like the energetic purgatory of being sort of in, but sort of out. And listen, at this point, like, it's not like I hadn't even started diving into like subconscious work. I hadn't even really done half of the healing that I have done now in these later stages. But I kind of want to say that, like, because I claimed that that was who I was going to be, I was going to embrace being this entrepreneur, this creator, I was just going to make it work, that then my path really took off. And I want to hammer this home because I think sometimes we wait and we do all of this like preparatory work, which sometimes is aligned, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that if this is resonating with you, then maybe what I'm about to say next will also resonate, which is that sometimes we actually just need to do and embody the thing, and that will kick off and actually expedite the healing process. This is why, again, like the knowledge and sort of like expertise that I'll share with you is going to be from this lens of what happens when you claim and when you act, when you take action, big action, and you trust and you just do it, and you shorten that gap between inspiration and clarity and taking the aligned action, because it does something to your reality, because we live in this 3D world that is also very divine, but they're two sides of the same coin. So when you bring them together, that is when huge shifts happen. And I want to say that because I had this experience of claiming it back then, and I've had more moments of this in the last 2 years since that moment, that is when things really like quantum jump and shift very quickly. And it's magical. It reminds you of your power, and it also takes away, like, there's this, I don't know if it's a saying, but there's something along the lines that's like, you know, it's like time or something like kills more ideas than like fear or something like that. It's not necessarily time. It's like the unnecessary waiting. And by the way, if your mind is like, I'm a projector, I'm supposed to wait for the invitation, I'm going to talk about that. So don't worry. But again, as usual, it's like, you're going to filter all this through your own experience. So if something doesn't make sense to you, like, either inquire more about trying to make it make sense or just drop it. But anyway, point being, before I get squirrely brained here, there is a truth to the idea that when something drops into your channel to inspire you, an idea, the longer you wait, when it's truly not a question of like divine time waiting and more just like, okay, it's here, it's ready to go, that is what causes things to fizzle out more than like, honestly, anything else. So the point being, sometimes when you just throw yourself into the arena, you pick up all the data, all the healing, all the shadows, all the things that you need to know, all the lessons, the light, the wisdom that is meant for you. So the point is, I went all in energetically. I had a total up level in my embodiment, and it kickstarted this journey of alignment. To keep the story going, it didn't just stop there, right? I had my viral moment, my account started growing. Then I met up with Nikki in person, and I was in this energy of being so hyped up about like just doing it and embodying it and all the things. And I suggested to her, let's collaborate on something. Let's work together on a project. That's where Forge Your Own Path was born. Forge Your Own Path was this incredible 2-day virtual summit that her and I did together back in April of 2023. It feels like so much longer ago, but that's when it happened. And it was this event that was all about essentially like claiming your uniqueness and doing the damn thing. And it was this one day that was all dedicated to awakening the vision. And the next day was all about putting it into action, activating it. And that was a huge up level too. First of all, the fact that like the universe and God brought me Nikki and like brought me this incredible business partner that I was sort of like subconsciously looking for. And then her and I go into business together. That summer we started a podcast. Like the ripple effect that I can really pinpoint back to this claiming moment that happened in that winter and in that spring created this whole, cascading effect of alignment and opportunity and expansion and just things that I'm like, holy cow, like that is really what is on the other side for you. Like you right now have this decision to make of if you are going to just fully believe and buy into yourself, like bet on yourself, and to just say, you know what? This is it. This is who I am. And it could be as simple as, the most recent claiming action that I did was claiming wealth consciousness and claiming that I was going to really start making real money with what I do. And when I did that, I experienced a quantum jump in a month of experiencing more abundance, more clients, more opportunities. And it just really goes to show that it's those little moments that you realize that your consciousness has been almost a little bit like fragmented, I would call it. Like your energy is in that like purgatory state where it's like sort of not in, but not out. You're just sort of in the middle. And those are great moments because they are such a great, like fertile soil for creating that jump, because it's kind of dope that you were in that purgatory, because then it's like an explosion of energy that the universe picks up on. And that's why then the signal that you're putting into the field becomes so much stronger, and you start to really experience the magic of that co-creation. You right now get to decide what it is that you're ready to claim. And I'm going to share with you 3 things that you can do to get out of the waiting room, and also these like nuances of how to know when you're waiting for the quote unquote wrong reasons. So number 1 is I want you to notice in what areas of life are you waiting? And this is where I'm going to talk about the projector thing in human design, because when you're a projector, your strategy for making things happen is to wait for the invitation or wait for recognition. Now, this is very different than the waiting that I'm talking about, because actually, as a projector, what you want to do while you are waiting for invitations and opportunities to come to you is to actually claim that you are ready for those opportunities and to make it known that you are available and that you have these gifts. So on a super tactical level, as a projector, it's honestly even more important that you claim what it is that you're here to do and claim this next level, because then those energetic invitations and the recognition from wherever it's like meant to come from is going to click into place. Because what happens is if you are putting your recognition and waiting to have the confidence to share your gifts until somebody else says that you're good enough or says that you're smart enough or capable enough or whatever, you're never going to put them out there. And for a projector, and again, this like you can apply to anybody, is like the same energy of basically choosing that this is who you are now. And so you're now open and available for all aligned opportunities. And I would say for a projector, it's actually really powerful to do this, because you can realize where even with your human design, if you were using the idea of having to wait for an invitation as an excuse to not take an action that actually just has to do with you, right? Where you're building the website, or you're finally posting more on social media, or you're finally putting a coaching offer out, right? The energetics is that you are making it known and making it available, but you're not like trying to pull and force people into it. That's the difference. So notice where you are in that waiting room, meaning you have put outside of you the responsibility or the recognition of yourself. You have put it on something out there, whether it's a person or time or a certain resource coming through, to finally feel like you are an expert, a creator, a fitness instructor, whatever it is, right? Notice where you're in the waiting room. Now that you notice that you are in a waiting room and you realize that you're putting it out there instead of realizing that it all happens in the now, you get to make an instantaneous switch. And it's similar to that switch of either, if you're like wallowing in some emotion that's like, now it's past just feeling it and you're actually just staying in it and identifying with the stories or whatever it might be. And then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I'm good. I'm actually just going to choose happiness. I'm going to choose forgiveness. And it happens in that split moment, right? It can be as simple as that, where you say, you know what? Oh my God, I have been literally in the waiting room for too long and I'm done with that. I'm done. I don't need to wait here anymore. I'm ready to go. And you can literally stand up and freaking shake it off, like somatically move your body, freaking put on a dance song, like change your energy completely. And then, this is so freaking important, is I need you to take an action quickly. This is what I was saying before about the sometimes unnecessary time gap between inspiration and a shift and taking an action. And taking an action could be so many different things. And this is where it's custom to you about what you're claiming. So the easiest example from what I shared before was when I was claiming myself as a content creator, that meant, okay, I was going to show up more and start posting on social media. Simple example. Or if you are claiming that you are going to start a side hustle, buy the domain name, set up the website, right? Or like call someone and tell them about your idea, whatever it is, but act quickly as this new thing that you have claimed. This is so important because this is how we signal to ourselves and to the universe that we are truly in a different timeline. Like, there is a reason why that movement of energy is so important. And it's because it's a huge part of this 3D world, and this like simulation that we're in is very earth and 3D and action based. But the thing is, now you're doing it with a different energy, and that's why it's going to yield completely different results than what you thought of before. So you're going to take an action. You're going to take an action, and you're going to do it with this new energy, with the identity, right? You're claiming either a new timeline or an identity, or you're saying, I'm done with this. I'm not playing small, right? But I do think it's good to try to focus on the affirmative version of it. So the identity that you're taking on, the new opportunities that you're open to, whatever it might be, try to think about it in the affirmative so that you're really just focusing on what you're creating rather than what you're getting rid of, right? You can also, of course, do this idea of like, okay, I'm not playing small, I'm not yada yada, but also go into what the affirmative version of it is. The last thing that is coming through very strongly is I want to remind you, and I want you to think about this, like, as I'm saying these words, I want you to know that these are coming from not just me, but truly a higher power or whatever voice that can represent the truth to you. And even like what I'm getting is like a parental figure, whether this was a real parental figure you had or you didn't. I want to right now provide you with the encouragement and the reminder of how capable you are, because I know that sometimes we don't get it and we want it, and maybe we didn't get it as a child. Regardless of the circumstance, I want you to hear this and to know that I mean every word I'm saying, and it is completely rooted in truth. And this is that you truly are so limitless in your capabilities. And whatever you want to create in this life, you absolutely can do it. You can. There is no question that if you want something, if you have a desire, you absolutely are able to do it. Not only are you able to do it, you can do it in whatever fashion you want. If you want to do it through ease and flow and fun, you will do it like that. If you want to do it through a soul-led grind and you want to hustle and work hard, you can do it like that. Truly, there is nothing out of reach for you. There is nothing out of reach for you. The only thing that makes you think that there is something out of reach is an illusion and a perspective. That's all it is. And it's okay. Those perspectives serve us sometimes. But you're ready to put that down. You're ready to leave it, give it to the earth. Mama Gaia can handle it. She will dissolve it for you. And you are ready to step into a reality that shows you what you are truly capable of, what you're truly, truly able to do. And it's not about proving it or reaching some external metric of success. It is truly just about the fact that you have incarnated into a time, into a body, into a soul, with a soul that is limitless and is perfectly equipped to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. These words are objectively true. They are objectively true. As they land on your ear, I want you, if you can, it's safe, and it's safe to close your eyes and feel into the fact that you truly can do anything you want. You are limitless. You are powerful. You are a genius. You are creative. You are so capable and smart. And there is truly nothing you cannot do. Truly. And if you want to fully believe the words I'm saying in your own body, in your soul on a cellular quantum level, this is where you need to claim it. This is why you need to claim it. And you need to tell yourself that you're going to do whatever it takes. And you are going to believe that you are meant for this. This is the time. There's no more playing around. There's no more playing around with your belief in yourself, because the stars and the planets have all aligned for you to step into this timeline and to step into this identity of who you really are. Can you feel that? Can you open yourself up to that being true? I know that you can. Even if it takes a little time for this to integrate, you can. So, go back to those 3 steps if you need to. Identify where you're in the waiting room. Choose to shift it and take an action that is going to signal to you that you are now in this new timeline. And then freaking trust. Freaking surrender to the journey and go all in whatever way that means for you. Now, if this has resonated with you, I want you to know that Nikki and I have just launched a VIP one-on-one coaching experience with the 2 of us. This is for the soul that truly feels and knows that they are ready for the next level. That you want to attract instead of force. You want to step into your gifts, your intuitive abilities. You want to do things truly differently and on your own terms. I reflect back to that moment when I was ready to claim something. And I knew that the right thing for me was to leap into a coaching container where I was going to be held and supported, and I was going to be reminded of how powerful I am. So you're going to know if this is right for you. You're going to know if it's time for you to claim and if this is part of your claiming process. If it is, I invite you to check out the VIP one-on-one coaching program with us in the description. It is going to completely change your relationship to co-creation. And through these 3 months with us, you are not only going to be guided through understanding the knowledge, modalities, and tools that Nikki and I have used to create this incredible global podcast community to experience alignment and abundance and flow and creativity and genius. You're also going to be brought through subconscious healing. You're going to master your human design. You're going to master your creative flow state. You're going to shed old limiting beliefs. You're going to get customized meditations and healing experiences. And most importantly, you're going to remember your power and you're going to come out the other side fully embodied as this next level version of you. So if you want to check that out, go to the description. If not, it's at omis.com/VIP-container. Omis with 3 O's, OOOMIES.com/VIP-container. Check it out. We would freaking love to support you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Check out the description with all the things. There's always resources. We have so much going on in our world. We have a membership that soon after you listen to this, there is going to be a lot of big things coming with the membership. So check it out. Be in our world. Join our newsletter. You guys know where to find us. This is the time. We're all in this together. And I love you so much. I love you. I see you. I'm holding your vision. Send me a message to let me know if this resonated with you, and tell me what you're claiming. Tell me what you're claiming. What is the new reality, the new identity that you're stepping into? I want to know. I want to hold the vision for you. Let's freaking go, guys. We're changing the world. We're changing ourselves. And this is epic. This is it. I love you so much. Thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you soon.